Well, hello, folks out there in YouTube land. Got a very interesting show set up for you. Yeah, we've got serious chaos with the portal, and it's right during the Sweet 16. It's crazy. Also, the UCLA coach, he is super grumpy. He is not a happy camper. We're going to get into that as well. Let's start out with this John Calipari story, and really this affects every team in the NCAA, especially the ones in the Sweet 16. Now, it turns out John Calipari wasn't aware the transfer portal opened actually today for basketball. I didn't know that either, and I cover this crap all the time. So these coaches are trying to coach their team in the Sweet 16, and they've got to worry about the portal, which is a huge issue. And Calipari, of course, pointed out the absurdity of the opening date, and here he is discussing it.
And that's maybe when is it open, the portal? Monday. When? Monday. This Monday?
Don't look at me.
Welcome to my world. So Monday, we're really preparing for a game, and we're having individual meetings about, are you coming back, or you know, if they put their name in the portal, they probably don't have an option to come back. But, you know, I mean, it's you care about the kids. At the end of the year, it's all about them. Whatever they choose. You want to go pro, want to come back, you want to go somewhere else, it's their choice. And I've always been that way, but it's getting harder to be that way.
Now, here you are trying to prepare your team to get ready for the biggest week of the year for you, which is the Sweet 16, Elite Eight, might even make it to the Final Four, and the portal opens up the same day. And the top 16 teams, the ones that are going to be the most active in the transfer portal, what do? Do you focus on the game that's ahead of you? Like Tennessee, for example, we're getting ready to play Kentucky. Or do you focus on the transfer portal? And given the fact that the vast majority of the players on Tennessee's team are seniors and out of eligibility, it's kind of a big deal. So what you've got to do is ask your players, especially the ones that are undergrad, are you coming back? Are you staying? What are you going to do? And that's just great for team cohesiveness, is to find out whether somebody's leaving or not a few days before the Sweet 16. I mean, who set this up? It's like they set it up at the worst possible time. The top 16 teams are going, what do you do? And if you don't stay on top of this, the best players will get plucked. And you're sitting here having to, it's just, how is this possible? But it is. Somebody's got to get control of the portal and make some sense out of it. This should have been 2 weeks later, obviously. Get done with the NCAA tournament and then open up the portal for 30 days or whatever. So this is the reality that a person like Rick Barnes, John Calipari, and all these other teams are having to deal with. I can't believe, it's almost crazy. It really is. I'm more shocked than John Calipari is. And so at least we know the teams. Auburn's playing Michigan. Ole Miss is playing Michigan State. They got past Iowa State. Boy, I didn't see that coming. Florida's playing Maryland. That doesn't surprise me in the slightest. Texas Tech and Arkansas. That one does surprise me. I think even Calipari's surprised. We're playing Kentucky. That's exactly how that should have played out. There's a lot of chalk on this board, if you know what I mean. Purdue's playing Houston exactly as it's supposed to be. BYU's playing Alabama. And then Duke's playing Arizona. There are literally 0 upsets in this, any significant ones. You've got no Cinderellas this year, which is odd. Everybody likes to have a Cinderella or two.
The crowd is just on its feet here. He's a Cinderella boy.
This ain't happening. But all those teams are dealing with the transfer portal. It's a mess. It really is. I doubt the players like it either. It's not only the teams and the coaches, but the players probably think it sucks because they want to focus on the game, not their future, you know, what team they might be on. This is stupid. All right, now we got to talk about Mike Cronin. He is super grumpy since Tennessee beat his team. It turns out when UCLA loses in football, they really don't care. But if they lose in basketball, they get very upset. I showed you the Locked On guy yesterday. He was not happy. They were all blaming the refs. And Mike Cronin also sort of blamed the refs as well. And then he's even angrier about something else. I'll show you the first part where he alludes to the refs.
So Sky not being able to play and Eric really threw us off for a long period. it messed the game up because we had a chance to, if that wouldn't have happened, we might have had a lead at half. It could have just been a whole different game. And I agree with Ben. The end of the first half was just, and I had used my timeout for an offense-defense substitution, and you know, we had a couple of really, really sloppy turnovers, really soft plays that you know. But is what it is. But again, they got a hell of a team. You're not going to win. You score 58 points.
So, in other words, had we had our regular players in there, had they not gotten into foul trouble, it would have been a totally different game. We'd have probably had a lead after the first half. Well, you know what? You come out super aggressive, you're fouling and hacking, that happens. And I understand you wanted to come out and, you know, put the clamps down on Lanier. That makes sense. But when you're grabbing and doing all that kind of stuff, and you're I tell you, that's the toughest defense we've faced all year. That first 15 minutes was a dogfight. And the refs were calling it really on both teams. We had a bunch of fouls too, not as many as they did. We were playing our normal defense. I think they turned theirs up a notch, which is understandable. It was a 7 versus 2. You know you're kind of up against it, so you're going to go a little extra hard on your defense.
That escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
It jumped up a notch.
It did, didn't it?
Yeah.
And it didn't pay off. So, but he's also upset about something else, which is kind of funny, actually.
Do you start looking forward rather than backward?
Right now, guys, it's 12:40 a.m. and the season just ended. That's it. You're going to ask me about next year? Right now, my biggest concern is how bad the seats are on the Allegiant flight, on that terrible plane that we're going to have to fly home tomorrow.
The school bus.
The cheese. The plain version of the cheese.
Hang in there.
And is there any chance that Doug got me some hot food, because I don't eat on game day, that I got something edible? Not next year. Not right now, guys.
All right. So many of us that go down to Florida from time to time, you've been on Allegiant Air. You know, yeah, the seats are not very big. I'll be the first to admit it. And granted, 5 hours, long time to be in a small chair. I don't care if you're in first class, which I've never ridden in, but I'm assuming even up there, it's not super comfortable for 5 hours. But Mike Cronin isn't exactly the biggest dude. He's got a 7'3" guy on his team. That guy should be complaining, not him. Cronin's like 5'7", and I noticed this during the game. You know, he's not exactly the tallest dude, as you can see right here. But given the fact that I am a statistical forensic architect, and I'm not making that up. Liar! I was able to put a rendering together that would show you exactly what it would look like him being in one of those Allegiant chairs in an airplane. And I think you'll see it's not as bad as he's making it out to be. Yeah, as you can see, he's super comfortable. He can have a couple of basketballs there with him in the chair. He's going to be fine. You know, the other guys, it's going to be a little rough, but I think he's tacking on right now. I think he's going to be fine in that chair. So yeah, UCLA is having a tough time with that loss, and I get it. I understand it, but I did want to show you it's probably a little bit more complaining about the loss than it is the reality of seating problems. And I definitely don't think the refs had it out for UCLA, but, you know, everybody does that. Everybody's complaining about the refs when you lose. If we somehow get beat by Kentucky, which is, it's a possibility, I'm going to complain about the refs for sure. I have no doubt. And I know Chilmont will. You know that's coming. But hopefully we won't lose to Kentucky. That would be 3 losses in 1 year. I don't know that I could handle that. And Nick Roush would be having a party. Oh yeah, he would love it. But hopefully we can burn their playhouse down, because Kentucky cares about basketball like you can't believe. We care about it. It's their thing. And Mark Pope is going to be super excited about that game. He's had a good, I told you he was a good hire. I really believe that. And it worked. It's working out fine for Arkansas, even though they didn't have a good year. Calipari's finally got his guys playing together. So anyway, if you like this content, be sure to hit that like button. Lets me know continue to cover all these big college sports stories. If you've not subscribed, boom, 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 hit that little button right there. It won't cost you a dime. Help you get my videos. And right over here is the most recent video. YouTube thinks you'll enjoy. We'll see you next time on Sports Talk Jay.
Well, come to see a fat old man sometime. Yeah!